നമസ്തേ. നമ്മുടെ ബാബു സാറ് ജി ബാലകൃഷ്ണൻ നായർ സാറിൻ്റെ അനുസ്മരണ വേദാന്ത പ്രഭാഷണങ്ങൾ ഫെബ്രുവരി 3-4 തീയതികളിലുണ്ടെന്ന് അറിയിക്കാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. അത് വൈകുന്നേരമാണ് 6 തൊട്ട് 8 മണി വരെ. അതിൻ്റെ നോട്ടീസ് അദ്ദേഹം വിതരണം ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഹിമാലയ ഋഷി സംഗമത്തിൻ്റെ 2ാം ദിവസമായ ഇന്ന് ഉച്ചഭക്ഷണത്തിന് ശേഷമുള്ള 3 പ്രഭാഷണങ്ങളിൽ ആദ്യത്തെ പ്രഭാഷണം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ശ്രീ പരമാനന്ദഗിരി സ്വാമി എത്തിച്ചേരും. മായാ നിരൂപണമാണ്. എന്താണ് മായ? ശങ്കരാചാര്യർ വളരെ മനോഹരമായ ഇമ്പമുള്ള മ്യൂസിക്കലായിട്ടുള്ള പരികളിലൂടെ നമ്മെ മായയെ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തി തന്നിരിക്കുകയാണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്കത് അദ്ദേഹം നമ്മെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാകും. വളരെ രസകരമായിട്ട് വളരെ ഈണത്തിൽ ചൊല്ലാൻ പറ്റിയുള്ള 3 ശ്ലോകങ്ങളാണ് വിവേക ചൂടാമണിയിൽ ഈ മായാ നിരൂപണത്തിൽ ശങ്കരാചാര്യർ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഐ ഇൻവൈറ്റ് പരമാനന്ദ ഗിരിജി ടു ഡെലിവർ ഹിസ് സ്പീച്ച് ഓൺ മായാ നിരൂപണം.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So, Om Namo Narayana to all the Swamis physically present here and who are listening to this particular talk. And Saprema Narayana Smaran to all the devotees present here. Yesterday we have discussed from Shloka 1 to 5 of Viveka Chudamani what was the need for this Prakarana Grantha to be written by Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan. As well as later on we have heard Vishaya Vairagyam, that was from Shloka 76 to 78. But what about the shlokas which were in between? If someone asks Swamiji, I want to know what have come in Viveka Chudamani. You see, after the 5th shloka, it is detailed the information about how should be a guru, what are the characteristics of a disciple, then what is sadhana chatushraya. All these things are mentioned. Going to the 51st shloka, it is said that koaso anatma, the disciple asks. Even yesterday while we were discussing, it was said atma anatma vivechanam. What is atma and what is anatma? That vivechanam. So this is asked by the disciple in 51st shloka, saying koaso anatma paramaha kaha atma tayor vivekah kathameta jucchecham. So this is asked by the disciple, what is atma, what is anatma, how should I differentiate between them? And then the guru appreciates the disciple into further shlokas. Just like when you go to Kathopanishad, when Nachiketa has asked a question to Yamaraja that I want to know, some people they say there is something when this mortal body, when this Panchamahabhuta Bhautika Sharira, this gross body is destroyed. As we were speaking yesterday, it is with these 6 defects. And once it is cremated or whatever the last rites which are done according to their own custom, tradition and religion, then he says, Nachiketa, asti iti chaike. Some people they do say that there exists something. Nayam asti iti chaike. Some they say there does not remain anything. Then I am confused in this. So you should tell me. That was the question of Nachiketa. Then what happens? Immediately instead of answering the question, what does Lord Dharmaraja he says? He starts praising that I have not seen a disciple like you at such a young age and all these things, lot of praises he does for Nachiketa. Then what does he say, Lord Yamadharmaraja? He says, this Vidya is very mysterious. Even Devatas, they are unable to understand. In the same way, when a proper question is put in front of a Guru, the Guru is so happy that at least this disciple, he knows and he is walking the path of moksha, the liberation from this very cycle of birth and death. So in the same way, here also Guru appreciates the disciple starting from further shlokas, and then the Guru says, Yad bodhavyam tava idanim, what has to be known by you now, idanim, atma anatma vivechanam. This has come in the initial itself, yesterday we were discussing. And taduchyate maya samyak shrutva atmani avadharaya. So I will be telling you properly in detail. And after listening to it, you keep it in your mind, never forget this particular vidya. Shrutva samyak atmani avadharaya. Then further shlokas, the Guru, he starts about Vishaya Vairagyam, etc. So this particularly goes up to shloka number 90. Then at 90th shloka, the Guru starts saying about the Sthula Sharira. That is this gross body which we were discussing yesterday, that it gets destroyed. And in few of the shlokas, the Guru continues about the gross body. Then 95th shloka, the Guru starts about the subtle body. If here, those who are a Vedanta student and those who are attending the online classes of the Swamis and etc., that's good. But if I ask someone how many bodies are there, what will people say? What are you talking, Swamiji? This is the body which you are seeing. That is not the case. There are 3 bodies for each and everybody. The gross body which can be seen. Then there is subtle body, and then there is causal body, that is Karana Sharira. Sthula Shukshma and Karana Sharira. So Sthula Sharira, it discusses by the process of quantification, that is division by 5, that is earth, water and all these things from shloka 90. Then at 95, he starts saying, all this I am saying because our topic it is 108. But before going to Maya Nirupanam, the first 2 shlokas are pertaining to Atma. When you go to shloka number 108, you will be saying that this particular shloka is pertaining to the Atma. So now you will see that the things, the material objects are enjoyed. Who is getting that bliss or joy or happiness of the objects being enjoyed? How to explain that? If you don't have the base, normally what happens? Vivek Chudamani is studied by shloka after shloka after shloka. But here, whatever was the important topic, that was selected, because we cannot complete the whole Viveka Chudamani with all the shlokas. So, to go to the 108 shloka, we need some connection with the previous shlokas. So, that is what this is. So, shloka number 95, it is said, Nigadyate antahakaranam mano dhihi ahankritis chittamiti svavrittibihi. You see, while discussing about the subtle body, 5 are organs of action, 5 are organs of senses, those are 10, and 5 are pranas, that is prana, apana, udana, samana and vyana. Each one of them has its own function. We are not going to go in much detail of it here, but these are 15 which are consisting, which are making the subtle body. But what remains? The mind remains, which is of 4. Again, it has been divided into 4 different parts. That is called manaha. That is mind. Buddhi. Buddhi is intellect. Ahankara is the I. And Chittam is the storage house, consciousness, you can say, the memory. Wherever you are recalling all these things, whatever you have heard yesterday, where is it coming from? It is coming from Chittam. So sometimes we do say, in Hindi as well as in Sanskrit, when a person is not paying attention, what do we say? Where is your Chitta? That means what? He is not paying attention or something. So chitta is the memory storage house. According to its function, the mind itself has been said in this 4. So previously we have calculated how many? 15. 5 organs of actions. As you say, hasta, pani, pada, payo, upastha. These are 5 organs of actions. Then organs of senses, that is jnanendriya, through which you are hearing, tasting, seeing, all these things are organs of senses. That is 5 pranas, and this 4. Ekona vinshati tattva, it is called 19, 1 less than 20. Ekona vinshati. So this constitutes, this makes the subtle body, that is 19 elements. Mandukya Upanishad says very beautifully about it. Anyhow, so Swavrittibihi, according to its own function, these are into 4 different types, it has been said. Manastu Sankalpa Vikalpadhi. What is the function of the mind? Oscillation, undecisiveness, Sankalpa Vikalpa. Should I go to Vailopalli Satsang Bhavan or not? Oh, let me sleep for a while. So this kind of thoughts which are coming, that is in the mind. Then what happens? The Buddhi says, no, we should go because the Mahatmas have come from very far away and we should definitely listen. Today is Sunday, no problem, we can spare some time. When you reach to this particular decision, it is of the Buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. Then whatever from the morning you are doing, I, that is pertaining to Ahankara. Ahankara means what? Ahankartavyam iti Ahankara. Saying I. So that particular thing. So Lord Krishna says, Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. That is altogether a different thing. Where that person who does not know the absolute reality of the mind, intellect, Ahankara, etc., he assumes, he thinks that I am the doer. That's so. And buddhi padartha vidhyaya saitha. In this way, then this chittam, as we have told, that is the memory storage house. So this was 95. Now coming to 101. These are the shlokas which are going to touch 108 before we start our today's topic. So these are necessary to discuss. Coming to 101, it is said, Dhimatraka upadhir asesha shakshi na lipyate tatkrita karma lepaihi. Now you see, when I ask you that in the light of the sun, that sun which rises every day and which is giving the light to all the beings who are on the earth. There are some beings which are in the ocean so deep that the sun rays does not go. That's a different thing. But to all the beings who are on the earth, face of earth, and the sun rises, all the tasks which are performed in the light of the sun, if some good deeds are performed, will the sun get any merits of those good deeds? Or if some sins are performed, will the sun get any bad results about those bad deeds? No. It is happening just here in the mere presence of the sun. So it is said, Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshur na lipyate chakshushair bahya doshahi. Just like the sun is the eye of the whole world, but it does not get tainted by the actions performed in its mere presence. Whether you perform the good deeds, whether you perform the bad deeds, it's not at all even a single percentage, it is tainted. Ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma na lipyate loka dukkhena bhayya. In the very same way, this Atman which is reflected in this body. Now, before moving to the Maya Nirupanam, we'll first know what is Atma. Yesterday, as we were discussing, Atma Anatma Vivechanam. And here in the shloka of 51, the disciple has also asked, what is Atman, what is Anatman? You see, when you see the shloka word, it's very easy. When I say Anatma, what do you understand? That which is not Atman is called Anatma. Even when you see, it's a negative compound in Sanskrit. That which is not Atma is Anatma. If a teacher in a class, he says that leaving this particular subject or particular topic, rest none of this is coming into the exam. So what do you think, what do? You study only that particular subject or that particular topic, lesson you can say. Rest everything what you do, you leave it. In the same way, to forego what is Anatman, you need to know what is Atma. Then only you will leave, apart from the Atman, whatever it is not, that you will forego. That is called Anatma. So, what is then Atma? That we will be discussing when we will reach there. But it is said, Yachapnoti, Yadadatte, Yachati Vishayaniha, Yachasya Asti Santato Bhavaha, Atmeti Kirtyate. That which pervades everything. There is nothing, a single molecule or even subtle than the molecule that which is not pervaded by the Atman. Everything what you are seeing, even a grain of sand and subtle than that, everything is pervaded by the Atman. Yacha apnoti. Yadadatte, everything is reabsorbed by that all-pervading consciousness, yadadatte. Yachati Vishyan iha. And whatever material objects are being enjoyed, you see, there are only two things in this world. One is inert, one is consciousness. So, is the house for the sake of house or for the person who is staying inside the house? Inert matter cannot be for the sake of inert. It is for the consciousness. But you have to be very, very careful. Here, enjoyment or this material object's bliss is not to be misunderstood that the Atma is enjoying. It is Nitya Ananda Swarupaha. So that you have to be very careful. So this is the lakshana of Atma. Yachapnoti, Yadadatte, Yachasi, Atti Vishayaniha, Yachasya Santato Bhavaha. If I ask you, many of them are carrying pen or watch or all these things I am seeing. You see, each and every object has 5 qualities. That is Asti, Bhati, Priya and Nama and Rupa. Existence, knowledge, bliss, name and form. These are the 5 things each and every object has. So first 3 belongs to the Brahman, last 2 belongs to the creation or sansara or maya, whatever you say. So, yachasya asti santato bhavaha. There is never an absence of the Atman. It always remains prior to the creation, after the dissolution. So you can think it is already covered everything by the Atman and it is always remaining. Yachasti santato bhavaha. Coming back to this particular shloka, Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshur lipyate na chakshushe bahya doshe. It does not get tainted by all the actions performed, whether good nor bad. Just like the sun, in the very same way, ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma. This Atma is one, it is non-dual. Ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma. Where is it? It is dwelling in each and everything, not only each and every one, but each and everything. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshi arjuna tishtari brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rodhani mayaya. Just like in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has said that this Ishvara is inside of each and every being and controlling them. So the very meaning of the word Ishvara is Isha Sasane, one who controls everything is called. Na lipyate loka dukkhena vayah, does not get tainted by any external sorrow, grief, pain or anything. Just like in Vedanta, this is a very, very famous example. The pots which are filled with water, and if they are having a reflection of sun or moon, if there is a pot which is broken, anything does, that is called pratibimba, the reflection. Does any change come into the bimba, the original? Whether you add one more pot filled with water, or you remove one pot filled with water, or you throw away the water, destroy the pot, does any change come in the original bimba? In the same way, In its mere presence, all these things are happening. In Vedanta, Atma is said Rajavat, just like the king is present and all the actions are happening by its own, by the mere presence. In the very same way, you have to understand. So coming to the 101, Dhimatraka Upadhir Asesha Shakshi. Then how are you saying that if you are saying this Atman is all-pervading consciousness, then how come it reflects in this individual body? Then it reflects into the intellect. Previously, what have we said? We have said that there are 4 parts imagined of this mind itself according to its function. So here, the all-pervading consciousness is being reflected in the buddhi. So that particular individual, the one who is experiencing the individuality, each and every one, yesterday we have discussed, if you remember. If you have forgotten, then we are here to remind you. What have we said? How far does your eye go? If I ask you, how far does your eye go? You say, the Simita Paridhi Matra, it is called. As long as this body, gross body is said, so far the eye, individuality goes. So that is called Vijnanamaya Purushaha. That which is being reflected on buddhi and with the individual eye, that is called Vijnanamaya Purushaha. Dhimatra Upadhi. Upadhi is what? Limitations. What was the Upadhi limitation in the reflection? The pots filled with water. The sun or the moon remains always. But when do you see the reflection? When you keep the pot filled with water, then only you will be seeing the reflection. If any one of it, you keep the pot but not the water, will you be seeing a reflection? No. But if there is a water but not the pot, so there will be no depth, you may not be able to see the reflection, but still it is possible. So that, what is the limitation here? The water is the limitation for the reflection. If there is no water, there is no reflection. In the same way, this individuality depends on what? As long as you have this reflection on the mind, Vijnanamaya Purushaha. Vijnayate anena iti Vijnanaha. Through which what you are experiencing this individuality, it's called Vijnanamaya Purushaha. In Brihadaranya Upanishad, they have explained this in very, very detailed way. It's a beautiful narration over there. So, Ashesha Shakshi, and actually you see what happens. It will further come when we'll be discussing about the Atman. What happens? It is inside the body, is just a mere reflection, and it remains as the Kutastha. It remains just like a witness. Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. It is just a mere witness. It is consciousness, not inert. Cheta Kevalaha. There is nothing apart from the all-pervading consciousness which is reflecting in the mind. There is only one tattva in Vedanta, that is Brahman, all-pervading consciousness. Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. There are no qualities. It is qualityless, Nirguna. So, in the same way, na lipyate tat karma lepai, and it does not get tainted by all the actions being performed by this body. Only through it the actions are being performed. Further it will come that kohi evanyat kah pranyat yadyesha akasha anando nasyad. You see what happens in this antahakarana. This is the internal organ which we are talking about. The 4 parts, man, buddhi, chitta and ahankara. It's combinedly called as antahakarana. So in this antahakarana, there is a space of this particular thumb. And it is called Hridhi Akasha. In this particular space, Akasha, inside the heart, Hridya Akasha. Inside the Hridaya, it's called Hridhi Akasha. There is the reflection. If there is no such reflection, who is able to even survive or breathe? It is said, and that very nature of that is Ananda, bliss. Yesterday we have discussed in Ananda Mimamsa. If you go back to Taittiriya Valli, Ananda Mimamsa, we have discussed the amount of bliss when we were discussing about Paramananda, if you remember, we have discussed in Taittiriya. Then here it is said, Kohi evanyad, there is no other being, no other element apart from that Brahman, kaha pranyad, and who is able to sustain apart from that, yadi esha akasha anando nasyat. Going back to the Kenopanishad, there comes a very famous story that there was a war between the good and bad. You can say the deities and the demons. It always goes on even inside the human body if you see daily. So again and again and again I am saying the stories are not for the sake of stories. There is a lesson behind each and every story. You need to understand that. So what happens in Kenopanishad? The war has been won over by the deities. Then they are rejoicing, saying, Asmakamevayam vijayo, asmakamevayam varam. So, we have won over the war and this victory belongs to us. Then there appears a mysterious object in front of them. It is called Yaksha. Yaksha in Sanskrit by Bhagwan Bhashikara, Adi Shankaracharya has written a commentary that it is very auspicious, Pujaniyatamaha, that appears in front of these deities. What was the need to appear? You see, it has come in many, many instances. When there is a devotee, it will come in the story of Narada also, which we will be covering. When a devotee, sometime by somehow the prarabdha karma comes, and if he gets an ego that I am the doer, what happens? Immediately Lord appears to destroy that ego. Otherwise, he will fall down in the great pit. There is no coming back. That is what Lord Krishna said, Ahankara vimudhatma karta ahamiti manyate. So that has to be destroyed. So what happens? This Yaksha appears in front of them. Then the Indra, king of the deities, sends one of the deities, that is Agni or first Vayu. Then they send and they says, go and inquire what is that Kimetad Yakshamiti. Go and inquire. Then this particular deity goes and says, Kosi, who are you? Then this Yaksha asks the question, who are you to ask me? Don't you know me? I am the Vayu. What are you capable of doing? I can blow away everything, he says. Okay, then a blade of grass is kept in front of him. And they says, blow this blade of grass. Then Sarva Javena, with all its might, it tries to blow away. What happens? Tanna Shashaka. It is not possible for that particular deity to blow away the blade of grass. Ashamed, coming back. Then sent another deity, that is Agni. The same question continues. Who are you? Arey, who are you to ask me who are you? Don't you know me? Jatavedaha. I am the one who knows everything by birth. Don't you know me? He is having such an ego. Then he says, okay, what are you capable of doing it? I can burn everything. Okay, same exam. A blade of grass is kept and says, try to burn this. He, with all its might, is unable to burn. Again comes in a shame. Now the king himself, the Indra, goes. Indra has so much of ego, being the king of the deities, that Yaksha disappears there itself. Even it doesn't care about having a conversation with him, speaking with him, and disappears. Then Indra, being the king, he prays and all these things. Then in the very same place, Oma Haimavati Bahushobhamanam, she appears, the Divine Mother. The very form of the Brahma Vidya, she appears, and then she imparts the instructions and everything. So, Kohi evanyat, kaha pranyat, coming back to the subject, if there is yadi esha akasha anando nasyal, if this is not the nature of all-pervading consciousness, the ultimate bliss, without depending on any materialistic object, there is no possibility of anyone breathing, there is no possibility of anyone doing anything. Yadi esha akasho ananda nasyat. So, on 101, Dhi Matraka Upadir Asesha Shakshi. That particular all-pervading consciousness is being reflected in the body. How it should be? It is just the witness, Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. But what is happening? Because of our ignorance. What are we saying? I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, kartri bhoktri swabhava rupam. We are having a misconception. There is two defects. One is tattva agrahanam and tattva anyatha grahanam. One is non-conception and one is misconception. So we are having the misconception of our own identity. What do we say? Aham manushyah, aham sukhi, dukhi, marta, and all these things we superimpose. From last 2 days you are hearing the Brahma Sutras. Brahma Sutras are also called Shariraka Mimansa. Sharira is what? Just like Lord Krishna is called Vasudeva. Vasudevasya putraha Vasudeva. So in the same way, Sharire bhava Sharira, that which is inside the body, the story is of the one who is inside this gross body, who is inside this subtle body, is being reflected just like the reflection of the sun or moon. In the same way, in that you have already heard about the superimpositions. So that superimposition is just a mere work of Maya. We'll be going there, we'll be reaching there. Yasmad asangaha tateva karma bhirna lipyate. How can you say that it just remains a witness and does not get tainted? That is because it is non-attached to anything. Just like in the example we have seen. In the light of the sun, all the actions are